those are enormous ratings. Again, in the news is our favorite. I'm so like torn whether to suddenly ask you about the fact that Potomac, here they are playing nice in New York, and Potomac just had a knockdown, drag out fight a la New Jersey, which no one has resigned for yet. I mean, it's just the behind the scenes with this is just crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, New Jersey, there were these fake rumors out there that the contracts were sent out, but no contracts have been sent out for New Jersey. So it's like the bottom line is they don't know what to do in New Jersey still. There are these rumors that everyone is coming back. I'm starting to believe that everyone is coming back, but they don't know what to do because Teresa is like, I'm not going to film with Melissa, or I'm not going to engage with her. So in New Jersey, they have a big problem. But yeah, to your point, I don't know, like, what do people want? Because people say New Jersey is so toxic. We don't want to watch another season of Melissa and Teresa knocking each other out. We just had this video with Potomac, which everyone seems to be talking about. So it's like, do you want, and a lot of people have said with New York, wow, this is so nice and it's so refreshing. It's like the old days of Housewives where we were arguing over nothing. I can't tell what people, like, if people don't want New York and they're not watching, do you want this other stuff? And if you do, then don't say it's so toxic and you're so upset. It's like, what do you want?
But because here's the thing, everybody thinks they want all the nice, and it's like a nice palate cleanser. But how many weeks can you watch it that? And how much before it becomes an eye roll that it's a bunch of rich women going, not a trendy enough restaurant.
Yeah.
That gets old. And for a lot of us that are viewers, unfortunately, we have friends that are like that and we find them genuinely annoying.
Yeah.
You have friends like that. I have friends like that. I have a friend that I just went to dinner with, and it literally was 2 days of trying to decide where to have dinner. And, I just was like, you pick, I don't care. But it was like, well, should we go here? Oh, but this place is newer and trendier. But this place has better food. I'm like, literally, after 2 days, I was going to pull my hair out. So I don't know what I'm going to do watching a whole season of who has the nicer charcuterie board.
And then you want to know, Melissa, why I just want to stay home and work. Like,
Yes, me too.
Like, I'm okay with no friends. Let me just go on record. I'm just okay. You know how they say the older you get, the smaller your circle gets. Well, I'm going to vouch for that one, guys.
Party of one.
Party of one. I'm the same way. I'm like, I mean, I am so exhausted from working. I don't care. Like, pick a restaurant, tell me a time. You should be thrilled that I'm so easy. Tell me a time, tell me a location. I will be there. It could be all the way across town, even in LA. I will get there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So speaking of LA and restaurants,
Yes.
Vanderpump. Okay. So Raquel is now Rachel.
She says she's Rachel now. She's changed her name back. She hasn't started filming yet, but there are pictures which have surfaced in the past also few hours of her for the first time seen outside the facility in the Meadows in Arizona, or I think she's in Arizona, or maybe she's home in LA, but she hasn't filmed yet, but she's coming back. So people need to get ready for that. Also, there's a lot of drama now, too, is that they're all in Vegas on the cast trip for Lisa's new restaurant, Wolf, and they take this group picture. Mind you, Ariana's not there. She got paid God knows how much to go to Love Island. So Vanderpump is probably like, I guess they probably worked that out in the contract, right? You can come back, but we understand you now make all this money doing other things, and it's also great promo for the show. So Ariana's not even there, but Scheana is like standing next to Tom. She has her arm around him, as you need to when it's your job. And the people have come for Scheana. How could you be standing next to that guy? And I mean,
really, there's lots of times that you have to stand in a picture next to coworkers that you don't care for, but you do it. I can't tell you how many executives I've had to stand in pictures with that I don't care for.
Yeah. Sheila's claps back. It is like, I don't understand. I'm not supposed to do my job. And
exactly. Let's talk more about Rachel / Raquel.
Yes.
And you and I discussed this. I think she really did have a nervous breakdown. I really, because I know a lot of people are saying that she didn't, it's a publicity thing. She needed to get out of there, or people could leave her alone and let the storm blow over. I think this was her sort of emotional bottom. It is really hard when the entire world turns against you. And I don't think she was prepared for that at all, obviously. And I don't think, you got to wonder, we talk about what, she's 28.
Yeah.
At 28, you make terrible decisions in general. So what do you think? Do you think this was a real rock bottom moment, and that by becoming Rachel again, she's getting back to who she was before all of this Vanderpump show came along?
As I always say, I'm behind the velvet rope. Two things get to be true. And I do think, I agree with you. I do think she had a real mental breakdown. Listen, like when you're 28, look at any age, it's hard to handle, right? But I think like at 28, you don't have the life skills to realize, girl, there's a long life ahead of you. Like this will pass. So I do think like when the whole world hates you, and somehow she was villainized more than Tom was. So I do think she had a real mental breakdown, but I also feel that she has a team behind her that is like, let's get some money now if they want, as you should. I don't blame you, right? Like she is the one we want to hear from. So I think the team behind her, it's being marketed really well. And I don't know. I mean, if it were me and I was on a team, I would say how brilliant that you can just go back. How many of us have a name we can fall back on? What a great way to go back and have a whole new story arc and say like, I'm changed, and have also in the world of public opinion, have the world start to think of you differently. So I think it was real, but I think there's a marketing team now as well.
But those things don't always pass. It is something that whenever she does anything will be brought up. I want to hear her and Tom discuss this. That will be interesting, because as ridiculous as what she was doing, as far as I'm concerned, Tom's the shithead.
Yeah, and while she was in the facility, assuming we do think it's real, he was on tour. I mean, he was on tour, shirtless, singing every night to a whole bunch of female groupies, single. So, right, like that's how his several months were spent, selling tickets, making money. The tickets did sell after the first few shows. So I would love to see, like, does she understand this, that while she was recovering, he was living his best life as a rock star? That wouldn't go over so well with me.
And we heard that Lisa and Tom